welcome to Gaming with Sidekicks preview of Block by Block, the Insurrection game. I'm Randy, and joining me is JT.
Hi there.
Today we're going to look at the second edition of Block by Block, which is currently live on Kickstarter. Block by Block, the Insurrection game, is a semi-cooperative game simulating riots, popular uprisings, and revolutionary movements in urban areas around the world during the first decades of the 21st century. It's from Out of Order Games, designed by T.L. Simons. Now, I'm a big fan of punk rock, anarchy, and all things rebellious, so this game has a lot of really fun themes for me. You know, fighting against the man and all that. I was so excited to play this one based purely on theme alone. What about you?
Honestly, the theme doesn't grab me like it grabs you. I'm a firstborn. I'm a rule follower. I'm a get in line kind of guy. So the theme didn't grab me, but I'll tell you what, when we played that first game, the mechanics, I just fell in love with it. It's a blast to play. I love semi-cooperative games. I love that possible trader aspect. And while normally I would hunt down a deterministic game, a game with all totally open information that you can math out your entire turns and find a way to victory, on will and wits alone. This is just an awful lot of fun and kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah, for sure. I had a lot of fun. Each turn was a little unpredictable, but it's not totally at the mercy of the dice. There is a little bit of mitigation with the different actions you can take. So what is Block by Block? In gaming terms, it is a semi-cooperative area control game with worker placement as you fight the clock. So each player will take on the role of a faction of the population and attempts to fulfill their own randomly assigned agenda en route to successfully liberating the city. Most agendas are cooperative, with all players winning if two of these agendas are successfully completed at the end of any round. There are solo agendas where a single player can win at the expense of the other players losing. There's a countdown. If you don't meet your win condition, by the time the countdown reaches 0, the police have successfully called in the military reinforcements, and all factions lose and years of repression follow according to the rulebook. Also, if at any point any faction is entirely defeated, the game ends with the police force victorious. So you move your civilians around the city, meeting your objectives by fighting or avoiding the police ops. You will set up your faction's occupations to increase the influence over the city. You can gain items by looting shopping areas. And if you liberate districts in the city, it can not only delay the countdown, but you can also reap additional benefits in pursuit of your victory. So let's show off some of the components that you get with the game.
With the caveat that this is a prototype, and some of those may change with either stretch goals or just in terms of the designers and publishers' final decision in publication. So,
right, excellent point. So we've got 40 blocks, 10 per faction for each of your civilian workers. We've got the riot cops with the riot vans. We've got the countdown marker, the police morale marker. We've got the district tiles that will be placed on the board. We've got the manifestation cards that will go under the district tiles. We'll talk more about those in a minute. The police ops cards tell you what exactly the police ops are going to do each turn. Here are the agenda cards that each player is given at the beginning of the game. Over there we've got the loot tokens, and we've got the barricade tokens, as well as the loot cards for when you loot the various shopping areas. And of course, we cannot forget, boom, the playmat. This is one of the stretch goals for the Kickstarter. It's printed on black fabric. It is beautiful. I cannot imagine playing this game without it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When we sat down to play, I know the designer who sent this copy to you said he was really excited about this, and I got to be honest. I thought fabric, but when we set up and played on it, and I saw that it fit in this small little neat box that the prototype was in, I thought, man, board games the boards, they get big, they get sprawling. If you can pack it up in a tight little box, and this will fold, roll, whatever, and come out without a blemish, that's a big advantage, especially when you're planning game night and you're hauling a bunch of games over to another friend's house. This gives you the option to pare down and take it in a small package, and for me, that's a big plus.
Yep, I absolutely love it for all the reasons you mentioned. And like I said before, I can't imagine playing the game without it. It keeps everything nice and organized, as you'll see in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and get set up, and we will run through a few turns and let you see what the game's about.
So, as we finish the setup here, the last thing to do is to start with our first occupation, and you get to choose that. It's got to match your faction. So I'm the students, and I'm actually going to choose the privatized university, and I get 3 blocks to start with.
You have all 3 of your locations right next to each other, which is awfully convenient. Me, I'm the neighbors. I've got one of mine up here in the corner that's going to be next to impossible to get to. I'm going to go ahead and start.
You can start there.
I could start there.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily, because if they both try and move to you, they stay put. You're not going to be able to move out of there, though.
No, not until they get out of there. There's no metro. Oh man, I hate doing this, but I gotta choose to go down here to the slum.
The polluted slum.
The polluted slum, right?
Okay.
So I'll set my 3. Hey, let's go ahead and roll an action die. See who's gonna go first.
Okay. I got a 3.
I got 2.
Yes. All right.
First player is you.
Okay. So our goal here is just to actually give you a feel for the game. Just play through a few turns. We're not going to stop and explain everything. But if you check out our other video for a more lengthy playthrough, you should get a better idea of each individual mechanic. So at the start of my turn, I actually get to place a block right on my starting occupation. I get to roll 3 action dice when I start, and let's just go ahead and do that. Now, my faction's special ability is when I move from an occupation where I am currently located, I don't have to spend an action die for that movement. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move 3 of mine here. I will spend this action die to build an assembly hall. I will spend.
Whoa, hold on. When you build an assembly hall,
when I do that, I got to roll.
Yes, that's an advanced action, and so you have to roll the police reaction die.
You're right. Oh no! And stuff happens. Okay, so police ops, paramilitary operations, +1 police morale. That's kind of bad. And they all advance into adjacent districts with the highest priority ID. So this is no problem because they both want to go here. Therefore, nobody moves. This one, 30 is probably the highest. Yes.
For that one right there.
For this one.
38. Yep.
Yep. And then that one's going to try and go to 26. Yep.
Right. Okay. So whenever the police move, one riot cop is always left behind. And if there is a single riot cop at a location, they cannot move.
Yeah. Okay, so that leaves me, with a 1 and a 3. Boy, oh boy. 1 and a 3, and I really have nothing good. Can I get to... Okay, I got one. I got one good thing I can do. So I can actually move through the metro here, and then I can spend my 3 to loot.
All right. So yeah, loot. Place one of the loot tokens. Graffiti side up. Get your loot card.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That'll help me. Actually, that'll help me, especially if he comes after me.
Right. Now, looting was an advanced action, so you do have to roll the police reaction again.
I don't like doing that. Oh, good. So 3, 4, and 5 is nothing. 3, 4, and 5 is nothing.
Yep.
So spend my last one to block those guys from coming at me.
All right. My turn. I get block on my starting spot. I roll 3 dice. All right. 1, 1, 5. Oh, let's see. I will. My special ability, I can build 3 barricades with a single action. That's pretty helpful.
Yeah, anywhere you have an occupation, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I do want to loot, and I have a shopping area on my home area. Let's see if I can wait to do that. I will go ahead and use one action to build my 3 barricades. Right here. Just to keep the riot cops from coming into my starting area. I will go ahead and use my other 1 to move. I'll move 2 squares up here. And I will use an advanced action to loot one of those shopping centers. So I will loot.
Now you gotta...
Get a loot card. That's not bad. Now I do have to roll the reaction. 2. Oh, flip over another police ops card. Alright. This says, all groups of riot cops advance into adjacent workers' districts. Now, do we have any riot cops that are adjacent to the workers, the yellows?
We do.
We have 1 right here. And as I said before, whenever the cops move, 1 gets left behind, so 1 advances into the garment sweatshop. That's not too bad though, because now these guys are spread up and they cannot move by themselves, so that's not awful. But alright, that was my 3rd action. So at the end, we check the police morale and draw that many police ops cards.
This is terrible.
So we're 2.
Okay, so they move towards neighbors.
Okay. We have these guys. They're adjacent to a neighbors. And now we have these cops that are both adjacent to the neighbor's district. Do they both move in there? It looks like cops moving into the same area
Move.
can.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they can move.
Okay. Well, actually, that could be good for us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
So yeah, now that is the end of nighttime, and now
that's 1.
Oh, that was 1. Yeah, we got 2.
Okay, now they move into public districts.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, here's a public district, but there's only 1 there. Public district there, but there's only 1 adjacent. There's 2 here, but there's nothing public because this is commercial.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they move anywhere.
Okay, cool.
All right. So that's the end of nighttime phase. Now we move to the sunrise. Riot vans are repaired and attack, and riot cops attack. We don't have riot cops in any districts with our cubes. We liberate districts. We do not have enough cubes on any district to qualify to liberate right now. Check police morale and advance the countdown marker. So yeah, that happens. We move the countdown marker too.
That's a bummer.
And now we check if endgame conditions have been met. That's we look at our agendas. We keep these secret from the other players because in 3 or 4 player games we do have some agendas that can be solo. I'm going to look at my agendas and I know that I have not met my agendas yet. I will tell the viewer, I will not tell JT, but I will tell the viewer My agenda is I must have occupations in all of my faction's districts, and at least 4 shopping centers must be burned. I definitely don't have occupations in my other districts, and no shopping centers are burned as of yet.
My agenda is to have occupations in all of my faction districts, and also 1 in a state district. So that's a little bit tougher, but we'll see if we can get there.
Yep. But I think that's all we're going to do for this video. Yeah, I mean that's how a turn goes. It actually moves pretty quick once players know what they're doing. You get the feel of what actions you want to try and take. I really like this game. I think we are set up right now to be in for a bit of a fight with the police ops getting the upper hand on us early, being able to move 2 on the countdown. I think this is a game that you typically lose more than you win.
Yeah, it probably is. It also probably makes a difference whether or not you're playing 2 players versus 4 players. Having those extra actions before the police do what they're going to do, that could be big. It could also hurt you. I mean, they could also move into a district where you are and kick out your blocks and do some other stuff early too. So we'll be back with a full playthrough, hopefully with a full 4-player game, and dive a little bit more into the rest of the mechanics. Yeah,
big shout out to Out of Order Games for this this game, Block by Block, the Insurrection game, the Kickstarter campaign that's going on now. I'm a big fan of this. I love the game, love everything about it, mechanics, theme, the whole shebang. But yeah, this has been Randy and JT from Gaming with Sidekicks. Go ahead and make sure you keep on playing the games you like with people you love, and
we'll see you next time.